Hey, so I just want to talk about this, so this stupid ass song that came out by Cardi B. Obviously everybody's gonna bump it because it's Cardi B, right? But it's funny because actually I seen it and then I had all these thoughts going through my head, and then I seen shit popping up all over like social media and shit. People just trying to rip on Ben Shapiro, right? Because I ended up watching I watched that full episode of the show, and I listened to it, and honestly I thought it was funny what he was saying. So but what you're seeing on social media is the very small segmented area. They don't show the whole entire explanation on why he's saying what he's saying, right? The dude's clearly making a joke, and now Ben Shapiro obviously doesn't give a shit what all these trolls are trying to do. But you'll see like all these people, like some people from MTV, different celebrities and shit, all these people trying to mock him because he's saying something, right? They're trying to say like, I seen some shit, some strong black woman or whatever, some bullshit. I don't understand how that song represents you being a strong black woman. But anyway, basically, obviously, he was mocking her. He was making jokes. He was saying his wife's a doctor. So it comes out, everybody's saying Ben Shapiro can't get his wife wet. Can't get his wife wet. Blah blah blah. But what he was doing was saying he was making jokes, and he was saying, oh, like a bucket and a mop, like, if you're that wet, there's a problem. And like he was just making fun of it. And he's saying he talked to his wife, and he brought up if you were that moist. He was bringing up different issues, bacterial issues or whatever issues you might be having medically. The dude was obviously joking, but the way that the media wants to portray it is as this guy was actually mad and was like saying some shit like that, like he can't get his wife wet. But yeah, and then he said this is what women fought for. They fought for all this stuff. Now I'm gonna go off of what Ben Shapiro's saying, and it's 100% true. And just like Kingface even said in that one, I forgot what he was on. I just seen the video. Who was on like I guess like a show. And it was like I think it was a girl and a guy, and they were just talking about queens versus like girls calling themselves queens or being a hoe or being a thot or whatever. And it's the bottom line. If you act like a thot or a hoe, that's cool. Free country, do what you want. I don't care. But people are going to treat you as such. The male attention you're going to get is going to be the same mindset that you're putting out, that you're projecting. So if you're a hoe or a thot, you're going to get a hoe or a thot dude. You're going to get a mutt if you're a slut. Like, that's how it works. Like, don't expect that, like, if you're putting that shit out there like that. And it's not even about dressing sexy. It's about the attitude that you have with your provocative outfits, right? You wanna let things hang out. You have the right to show off your body, and you should not be disrespected. That's fine. But the attitude that comes along with it, when you're out here talking about your pussy and how wet it's gonna get, blah 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 blah, like, what do you expect? What kind of respect are you getting, and you're expecting from dudes? You're projecting yourself as a hole for them to get into. That's it. That's the respect you're gonna get. Don't expect anything else. Don't expect to be praised as a queen or as this top-notch chick when you don't represent yourself that way. But the other thing that Ben Shapiro was saying was, yeah, this is what women fought for. We're living that age now, right? Now there are misogynistic guys out there, obviously, and there are guys in power that were doing fucked up shit. But if we're going to have this Me Too, we're going to have this, we're going to have all these different movements talking about women being treated like shit and not being treated equally on a respect level. But then we're going to support a woman that goes against all of that. Now, she is not about being respected equally, or as you would say, as a queen. She's literally out here making some bullshit music, and people don't like to like think, like have deep thought. We don't like to do that, right? So it's the same issue, right? We have police brutality issues, and we have gang shit, and we have this and that, and everybody wants to complain about all these different things, but nobody wants to think about the music that they're listening to. And that goes exactly with this Cardi B song. This song is all about that. That's a free country. If that's the music you want to listen to, you want to represent, go for it. But I don't want to hear you or anybody else who listens to this shit and bumps this shit in their car to bitch about inequality. Bitching about why dudes look at you like you're just a piece of meat, that you're just something that they can have sex with. That's literally that's the message you're putting out. That's how you represent yourself. So I don't want to hear you bitching and complaining about stupid shit like that when you're the one who's helping that image be portrayed. You know, it's crazy. But like I said, that the media, and you can see how the fucking media works, is that they're only showing you a little segment of his hour fucking podcast, where obviously this was also a little segment. He was talking about a bunch of other things in his podcast, but they don't show you the full thing. They don't show you what he was joking about. They just show you the part because they want him to look bad. They want him to look bad. But two, what's bad about saying this is what women fought for? I don't understand that. Like, you've seen, like I said, you see all these responses of people out here going, oh, you know, misogyny, she's a strong woman, she's blah, 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 blah. Like, what? Like, and two, like Cardi B, okay, cool. She had to do shit I guess you wouldn't want to do, right? If you're in the hood, if you grew up where she grew up. I don't know her background like that on a personal level, so, but let's just say she obviously was a stripper. She had to do this shit to get by. Whatever, we'll look past that. There's no judgment, right? But now you're not there anymore, and you still have that mindset. So I don't know, like, let's talk about, let's try to like pave the way and talk about your struggles, so then you can maybe try to inspire younger girls in your same situation so they don't have to do that shit, right? Because that's obviously not a dream aspiration for women, is to be a stripper and sell your body, right? It's a free country. You should be able to do that if you want. That's whatever. But if you're about that lifestyle, don't complain about the repercussions of that lifestyle. If you're about gang banging glorification, right? And all drug slanging and all this shit, right? Killing people, blah, 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 blah. Don't bitch when that lifestyle bites you in the ass. If you get locked up, if you get shot by another gang member, if you fucking, you know, like, it's just like, think about the kids, man. Like, think about the girls, right? Think about the little girls. Think about the little kids, right? All that, when you're doing this music, right? And the thing that's different, I heard somebody else talk about, and is I forgot who it was. It was a black dude, but I forgot his name. But that's very vague. My bad. But when this music is being made, right? When you don't live in a certain area that has these issues going on, right? There's obviously hoods and ghettos, and then there's not, right? There's really clean areas and areas that have no violence, right? And all this shit, right? Because of the poverty levels. But when somebody makes this music and people that are not from that background listen to it, it is music to bump your head to. I fucking can't stand it, because I'm always thinking deep into shit and thinking about what's the effect of this and how can you say this when you're representing that, right? But all the people, I know a lot of people that bump their head to this shit, and they've never lived this type of lifestyle, never came from this background. So it's just something that people listen to. But then you think about the kids that grow up in these areas, right? This is it's a lifestyle. It's something that you know, I guess gives them a negative influence on how they should live and lead their life, because it's so prevalent in their life, and this is all they're hearing. It's kind of like a form of brainwashing. So it's like, we need to think about the kids, you know, and obviously not all music is for kids, is not, but it is in these areas, and people listen to it. So my bottom line is if you don't like the negative outcomes of things, don't take part in something that's going to make you closer to that negative outcome. Don't bitch about it. If you're gonna do it and shit happens, then own it and say, all right, well, I was doing this shit and that's just how it is. Like, I shouldn't be doing this, but that happened. This action came from me doing this. That's it. But I'm gonna cut it off before I rant any longer. But bottom line is, that song was trash. It was ass. They sounded, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion both sounded like shit. They had no flow, and the lyrics were terrible. They were terrible, you know. But in the background, we got whores in this house. So don't get mad because I said that they were acting like a thot or a whore or a hoe, because they said that shit in this song anyway. So I don't even need to validate that. They validated it. And now everybody wants to run around and be like, you're misogynist. You can't call them this. You can't say that. Blah, blah. Like, you did that shit yourself. You did that yourself. You literally put it out there. So they're glorifying this type of shit. So don't get mad at me. But all right, y'all. I'll talk to you guys later. Much love. And stop listening to that ass song.